Oh, it's so hard to like what's the first thing you say?
I got it. Say this. This is my first collaboration video ever, and I'm just really anxious.
I love it,
and
man. No, I'm going to say excited. No, I'm going to say excited. No, that's great. We're going to rank all superhero movies. Just about every single superhero movie that's come out since, I think, 2000 is roughly the cutoff. We've got them all ranked. We're going to go through quadrant by quadrant. So we got them ranked into terrible, average, good, great, and then masterpieces. And we're just going to... We're going to read off what we have in each quadrant, and any major disagreements, some real contentious stuff, that's where we'll talk about a bit. What's in your terrible? What's in your lowest quadrant?
Okay. The worst in my terrible is Batman v Superman. Then...
I know you did that just to fuck with me, man. I know you don't believe that. Worst ever? We have 100 movies on this list. You're saying Batman v Superman is worse than... That's the first thing you're going to say.
Yeah. It's the one that I do not want to watch ever again.
No, I understand.
The ones that come after it, I would.
All right. What else is in your bottom one?
I've got Man of Steel, X-Men Apocalypse, Suicide Squad, and Thor: The Dark World.
Okay.
Those are all the ones that I never want to watch again.
Now, X-Men Apocalypse, I only have 2 in my terrible list. I do have X-Men Apocalypse as well. Complete agreement on that. Now, Justice League, that's my other one in my terrible, mostly just because, see, I'm not like you. I like Man of Steel. I like Batman vs. Superman. So Justice League, I just think what that could have been had things gone differently. So when I'm watching Justice League, I'm irritated. It's not just that it's a bad movie. There's lots of other movies that are kind of average, and Justice League's not terrible. It's just average, but when I'm watching it, I can't help be frustrated, thinking, God, look at the design of these characters. Think how cool Justice League Part 2, if we got it, would have been. So there's that frustration. Same with X-Men Apocalypse. Maybe it's not a worse movie just objectively than other movies on this list, but as I'm watching it, I'm just like, God, they got these great actors. They've got such a cool story. It could have been so much better. So those 2 are the ones where you're watching it and it's just frustrating because you're thinking like, what might have been. What's in your average?
My best on the average is Black Panther. It's getting progressively worse. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Oh. Fantastic Four 1, I don't remember what it's called. And then Fantastic Four 2, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Oh. I haven't seen those in a long time, so it could be switched because I've heard that Silver Surfer is better. But right now I'm just assuming that it progressively gets worse. And then after that is the Fantastic Four remake from 2015. I didn't hate it as much as everyone else, but it's definitely not good.
Okay.
And then X-Men Origins Wolverine, it's only up that high because I haven't seen all of it, but this one scene with Deadpool chopping the bullets, or blocking, I guess, he chops it in the trailer, the Deadpool 2 trailer. That's the only reason it's up that high. Okay. And then, you'll disagree with me on this because you already said you did, Justice League. And then The Incredible Hulk 4, and then the Hulk from 2003, which I remember slight bit more, and then X-Men The Last Stand.
Oh, X-Men The Last Stand. See, that's the biggest disagreement. I know people don't like X-Men The Last Stand. That's actually my favorite X-Men movie, and I know X1 and X2 are fantastic, and that's why in this list they're all tied, because I get that I can't say Last Stand is better than X1 and X2 because they're both so good, but I actually like X-Men Last Stand. That's very, very high on my list. That's one of my favorites. I have a lot of agreement here. Incredible Hulk, I agree with you. The first 2 Fantastic Four, I agree. Thor and Thor Dark World, I have them both here. And both Amazing Spider-Mans, I have both of those as well. The only one is Doctor Strange.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it. And it's not that they...
the first time I saw it either.
But I will say, I love Doctor Strange in Infinity War. I thought he was fantastic. I thought his interactions with Stark were so good. They played so well off together. His powers, I think I already said this to you, with the 3D, his powers, and maybe had I seen Doctor Strange with the 3D, it could have been a completely different experience, because I have heard from some people just like the kaleidoscopic effects and stuff were pretty cool. But yeah, when I saw Doctor Strange, and it's nothing they did wrong. I just think I have the same opinion of that as Ant-Man. I have Ant-Man fairly low, not because they did anything wrong, it's just for me it's not my... It's just not one of my favorite superheroes. I don't respond as much to it. So that's probably low. But yeah, the Amazing Spider-Mans. Now, did you like... I didn't mind I didn't mind Harry in the second Amazing Spider-Man. Harry Osborn.
I didn't either.
It was an interesting take on it, and I thought it was kind of cool. That was one of my favorite parts of the second Amazing Spider-Man, and that's one of the reasons it's not lower, honestly. Because that could easily fall to terrible for me, but I thought it was an interesting choice. Have you seen the movie Chronicle?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I love Dane DeHaan.
And it's just
amazing.
Yeah, no, and I think maybe that's why I liked it so much. But yeah, and honestly, with me, the Fantastic Four movies, they didn't do anything wrong. I think they did good casting, and it's just, for me, they weren't that funny. They were lighthearted and very jokey. But then Marvel came along and just did so many better, hilarious movies. I can't help but go back and look and be like, they're not that funny. You know, it's kind of shallow humor. They're not as funny. Like, you compare to something like Ragnarok, it's not even close. You know, Ragnarok's hilarious. So, and I didn't love the villains either. I don't think the second one's better, honestly. I saw them both. I think the first is a little better. The second, I didn't think the Silver Surfer was that cool.
For me, I think the Fantastic Four, the first two, I think those are 100% kids movies. I feel like, I don't know if they're rated PG, but I just feel like they're rated PG and they're made solely for kids. And I don't know if I can hate on them that much when I have that opinion. But I see where you're coming from.
I don't think they're made solely for kids, but they're so lighthearted. No real villain, no stakes, no danger. They just... Yeah, and again, I feel like Marvel came along and did similar movies, just so much better. Let me hear your good. Let's get through most of the list before we decide what we want to delve into more. So what's on your good?
Best on my list of good is The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
Then Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Age of Ultron.
Okay.
And then X-Men 2. Then X-Men 1. And then The Amazing Spider-Man. I know a lot of people hate that, but I actually enjoyed it when I first saw it. I haven't seen it since, though. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor Ragnarok, Watchmen. There you go.
Hold up,
Batman. Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you finish, but I have a question after you finish.
Okay. Batman Begins, The Wolverine, X-Men Days of Future Past, The First Avenger, and Spider-Man Homecoming. Depending on how I'm feeling, Spider-Man Homecoming could get a little higher.
Oh yeah, so much. First of all, so that's just about every X-Men movie except First Class. You haven't said that one, right?
Yeah.
So that's that's your favorite X-Men?
Yeah.
Like, I'm shocked you put...
what Matthew Vaughn did.
I'm shocked you put X-Men 1, 2... The last stand you've already done. I'm shocked you put X-Men 1 or 2... I mean, both at the same as Days of Future Past and under First Class.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I'm a huge fan of Matthew Vaughn. Kick-Ass is Kick-Ass. Kingsman is also Kick-Ass. Stardust is not that good, and then I think there's one more. And then he comes and he does an X-Men movie. And I didn't really like superhero movies at the time, but my dad says, hey, I actually really like this one. You should check it out. And I was like, okay, because he doesn't really like them either. And I watch it, and my mind is blown. I love it. I enjoy it, and I wanted to watch it again. I don't know if I did. But it did something for me, and I can't remember why, because it's been a lot of years. I think I saw it, like, the year it came out. But it really impressed me, and my reason is because I love Matthew Vaughn.
See, First Class, I think that might be, aside from Apocalypse, that's my least favorite X-Men. I hated the kids and their powers. I didn't think they were that cool. I hated the kids and how they interacted. Jennifer Lawrence, she was horrible in Apocalypse. Did you like Jennifer Lawrence in Apocalypse? She was one of the main reasons that's so low, and that's probably like my second lowest superhero movie ever. Yeah. I thought she was so bad in Apocalypse, just looked bored. And I thought she was so cool in the original X-Men movies, like X1 and X2. I thought she was badass. She was scary. She was crafty. Lawrence? No, Mystique, just in general.
Oh, okay.
Just Mystique was so cool in the original X-Men movies. And then Jennifer Lawrence, I don't hate her in everything. I saw, Red Sparrow just came out. I thought she was good in that. So I don't always hate Jennifer Lawrence.
Playbook?
She was very good in that. But again, I said this in one of my videos. Silver Linings Playbook, she's playing someone with kind of like a personality disorder who's very like emotionless and kind of robotic. So I think she does great when she plays that. And then in Red Sparrow, she's kind of playing a spy. So when she's doesn't have a lot of emotion and just is kind of very, very one note, I think she does a good job. And again, that's like the worst backhanded compliment where it's like, oh, movies where you don't have to act a lot, she's good in. But no, I liked her in Silver Linings Playbook and yeah, Red Sparrow that just came out. But there's other stuff I've really... And then Hunger Games, like I say, Hunger Games, it's a grim movie. And she's basically just a sir. You haven't seen any Hunger Games? As far as other stuff, so for my movies, my good, X-Men First Class isn't good. Ant-Man, Iron Man 3, Suicide Squad, which I get you'll think is... Have you said Suicide Squad? You did, right?
Yeah, that was in my terrible.
Although it wasn't your terrible... Yeah, so let's talk about Suicide Squad, because yeah, I have that reasonably high. Age of Ultron, Wonder Woman, Guardians 2, Black Panther, which I get... Panther's...
Hold on. Wonder Woman?
Yeah. It's high. It's good. It's high in the quadrant on this one. And yeah, it's tied with Black Panther. It's tied with I have Iron Man 2 in this one and Captain America the First Avenger and Spiderman Homecoming. But again, those are the high one. X-Men First Class and Ant-Man, Iron Man 3, Suicide Squad, Ultron to an extent. Those are kind of lower in the quadrant. So Wonder Woman you disagree with strongly?
I will spoil it right now. I have Wonder Woman in my masterpieces.
Why?
I saw it twice in theaters. I bought it. I want to watch it again, but I just haven't because I review so much. I had such a good time with it. The only problem is I didn't like the final act and the villain and like him floating in the air and he looked like a Mortal Kombat character. That was the only bad part, but I think that's because Zack Snyder had a hand in writing it. I hate Zack Snyder.
That makes sense because I really liked the ending. I thought the ending sequence of Wonder Woman was the only thing that I think was great in the movie. The rest was good, but okay. But yeah, it kind of
makes... The rest was so great. It was so well paced, so well shot. The colors were great. The performances were great. I can't stop raving about the movie.
Well, can you give Snyder credit for the colors at all? Because he does good colors, right? Will you give Snyder credit for colors?
Yeah.
Snyder's got colors down?
What else I'll give Snyder? I'll give Snyder Watchmen. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's actually fine. I didn't hate it.
No, I'm surprised you had Watchmen so high. And then Suicide Squad. You hated the Joker?
Oh, God, I hated the Joker. And not just because I'm a huge fan of Heath Ledger's Joker, but because I genuinely just didn't like him. Even if I didn't like Heath Ledger, I would still hate him as much as I do.
Yeah. I thought it was one of those, again, interesting takes. Like Batman versus Superman, Lex Luthor.
Okay,
it was a unique take. And like Amazing Spider-Man 2... Harry Osborn is a unique take. Here it was a unique take. They tried, they didn't just try to copy Heath Ledger's Joker. I liked Will Smith as Deadshot. I thought he was great.
I did too.
I thought he was great. If you go in being like, oh, I'm a Joker fan, I can't wait to see the Joker. Totally, I get you're gonna be frustrated with it.
My great is at number one, the greatest great Spider-Man.
No, I have it higher. It's good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Then this is where it gets a little controversial. Spider-Man 3. One of my all-time favorite trilogies, and I like them all equally.
Okay.
Then Civil War. And then you're going to like this. This will help you. You said you didn't understand what I thought about Infinity War.
Yeah.
Infinity War.
That's high. It's pretty high. Okay.
And then Doctor Strange, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2, and X-Men First Class.
Okay, we've talked about X-Men First Class. Iron Man 3. Wasn't a big fan. I definitely felt like the franchise was running out of steam. There's nothing it really did wrong, but it was just, for me, I think his shtick by himself had I think Tony Stark needs someone to kind of balance off of, like Iron Man 1, he was great. Iron Man 2 still pretty good, but by the third movie, it was just like, what his personality is, what we're getting with him. You needed him to kind of play off someone, and he had the relationship with the young lad. I guess that was kind of good, but some similar stuff. I got Ragnarok, I have Civil War, Days of Future Past, I like that one. That's my favorite of the new X-Men movies. I have the first and the third of the Nolan Batman movies. I have Spider-Man 2. I have Winter Soldier, Logan, which is, we're getting pretty high in my quadrant here, and then Guardians of the Logan, yeah.
What about Logan?
No, Logan was good, and then the first Guardians and the first Avengers. So I'd say Logan, the first Guardians, the first Avengers, and Winter Soldier. Those are like, and Spider-Man 2. Those are right close to being in my top quadrant. Give me your masterpieces.
I'm gonna start with my least favorite, and I'll build up to what my favorite is. Okay. So this is gonna be a little controversial. People watching, if they're watching this, are gonna probably disagree with this, but The Dark Knight. It's in my masterpiece section, but it's not the biggest, the best masterpiece.
Okay. Then
you're gonna not like this. So you'll probably understand it though. Ant-Man. I'm
so high
to comedy. I'm partial to comedies, and I love Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly, and
she was great. I liked her a lot.
Yeah. And then her dad, I forget his actor name, but he was fine too, and he's a good actor. But I'm partial to comedies, and the little bit of Edgar Wright feeling that's in there is just enough for me to get it to a masterpiece.
No, I gotcha. You put Ant-Man above The Dark Knight? If you had to rank them, you'd put...
So I don't think it's a better movie. I just would easily rewatch this one more than The Dark Knight, and I would have more enjoyment out of it because I just find it so funny.
Okay, what else in masterpieces?
This one you'll probably agree with, Iron Man.
Yeah, no, that's in my top.
I think it's probably the best made. It's tied with the Avengers of the MCU overall. I just don't like it as much as a couple others. Then after Iron Man, Wonder Woman.
You got that high? Okay. Did you like the Amazon scenes?
Yeah. They weren't awful, but I liked them. I liked it more when she left and was just with Chris Pine. Yeah. But that's the other thing. Chris Pine is probably my man crush, and that probably elevates this a lot higher than any other people.
Oh, I love him.
Chris Pine as much as I do.
Have you seen Horrible Bosses too?
Yes, he was the best part of that.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, I've loved him ever since that, but he was okay in this. I didn't love him in this. Maybe just because I saw him in Horrible Bosses 2. I loved him in that so much. I kind of want him to play that same role every time I see him, but I understand he can't. He's got to play other roles, but he was...
Hell or High Water?
Oh, he was good in that. Yeah, no, I liked him in that for sure. What was the other one? Have you seen Wrinkle in Time? Did you see... Whoa. Have you seen Wrinkle in Time?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't even...
God, I saw Wrinkle in Time. He was barely in there. We're to my top 3. Number 3, The Avengers.
Wow, that's high. Okay.
Then, this is easily my favorite MCU movie, and easily my second favorite superhero movie overall, Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yeah. No, I don't fault that. It was a great movie. How great was Falcon in that? I think he's such an underrated part of that. His action scenes, for me, like... It's tough because we'd already got with Iron Man and War Machine, great like action scenes of people flying around, but then he came in and I just thought he was just so amazing. His action scenes were just fantastic in that. So no, I don't disagree with people who rate, like I had that movie a little lower, but that's just again just personal preference. Like I thought Black Widow was great in that. I thought the whole, just everything, everything about that. The plot was very sinister, that they're going to use, and it was topical, because those issues, were in the news, and they're still in the news to an extent about freedom versus security and kind of pre-targeting people. So no, it's just a great movie. I got no disagreement on that. So
the only weak parts are the villains, and like I like Robert Redford and he gives a good performance, but it's just a cliche villain that wasn't used as well as it could have been. But it's one of the better villains, I still think. But that's the only part I don't like. Other than that, everything else is just one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
No, it was great. So, is that second? Or is that third? That's second, right?
No, that's second.
That's second, yeah.
That's second. You want to know what number 1 is?
Well, I should be able to know it.
Number 1.
What is it?
Yeah. Well, it's the movie I've seen the most times out of just any movie in general. I'll watch it if I'm like, what do I want to watch? It's this.
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I have no problems with it. It's just oh god, it's just so good.
No, it is.
Got a bit of an advantage with me because it's been my favorite comic book character since I can remember.
It's fantastic. I have Deadpool, so I'll do mine. I have Deadpool. I actually have the Hulk, the original 2003 one. I like it a lot. I think the action scenes in that are some of my favorite ever. When he's in the desert and he's dismantling these tanks and he's just ripping up these tanks and he's flying around and he's on the planes. It's one of the best action scenes. Not the only other one that's comparable to me is the first Avengers. The first Avengers when the Hulk's running through the city and just running through these buildings. He's just fantastic in that. But I thought the original 2003, I didn't love Incredible Hulk in 2008. I thought the action scenes were kind of a little step down from the 2003 one. But yeah, no one loved the action in 2003. Okay. It's not. I put it too high. I'm second guessing myself. It shouldn't be. It should be. I should have put it mid great. That was an oversight, honestly. That's too high. I'm looking at the other ones I have by it. I'm putting it by Spider-Man. Spider-Man is, the original Spider-Man, I think, is one of the just defining superhero moments. Like with that, the quote, great power, great responsibility, Uncle Ben dying. For me, it's almost a flawless movie. Like, I think almost every scene, I think Green Goblin's an underrated villain. Honestly, I think he's a great villain. I don't know why he gets left out of so many conversations when people are talking about great villains. I think that he's a fantastic villain. I think the casting was fantastic. I thought, him as kind of like a nerd, he really felt like a geek and a nerd who got this great power and was thrust on the stage of saving the world. So I think almost everything, and just the lesson he learned, like so emotional when he lets that guy run past him, and then that's what gets his uncle killed, and it's just such an emotional, powerful moment. So I thought it had everything you could want. Him discovering his powers and kind of fucking up and like the goofy aspect, but then also just the thrill of suddenly your whole life's changed and you've been like, picked on your whole life and suddenly you're learning these new powers. Fantastic movie. And I think that'll hold up better than some other movies. Like Infinity War, I think is great, but I don't know how well that's going to hold up like 50, 100 years from now, because you have to invest so much into it and it's a great experience. You know what I mean? But as far as kind of a movie that's going to have longevity, but I think Spider-Man, the original, that'll be around forever. People will love that forever. That'll be a classic forever. So I think I'm rating it high, but even I think I'm not even rating it high enough probably. And then Dark Knight Rises, of course. And then I'll put Last Stand, because that's my favorite X-Men, honestly, but I have to put X1 and X2 as well, because those, I can't say Last Stand's better. They're all phenomenal. I'll put Iron Man. It's just so good. And then Infinity War, I'm putting that as well. And then, Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel, and Watchmen. You knew that was coming, but... And then,
I'm okay with Watchmen.
Like Man of Steel, just again, visually, just every shot, almost every... There's other movies where Infinity War I loved, but the whole quest to make the weapon, to me it's like that could have been cut. Like, it's not essential. There's a lot of jokes in there that they're fine and they're funny, but they could be cut. Man of Steel, it's like for me almost every scene, like even the scenes of him when he's in class at the beginning and the sounds are overwhelming him and he doesn't know how to control his powers and he sees the people in the x-ray, their bones, that was such superhero realism. And then his mom calms him down, and it's just every scene, I'm immersed through every scene, almost every scene. I feel like it was in there for a reason. You know what I mean? Every scene it was trying to communicate something. Yeah. There was nothing in there that was just plot and just things kind of happening. No, every scene was like there was a theme and there was something that...
The polar opposite. I felt like there was a lot that didn't matter, and I felt like it was way too long. And the scene in the classroom I thought was hilariously bad.
What?
I'm not trying to script you or anything. That's just... I was dying. I was like, what's the point of this? It's I get that you're Superman. You don't have to...
It's real.
...with this scene.
It's realism. It's superhero realism.
I know. I get people's arguments. I'm not... I put it in terrible, but compared to other things in terrible, it's like a masterpiece. That's how much worse I think Batman v Superman is than Man of Steel.
Okay. No, and then...
But I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Which cut of Watchmen do you like?
The, not the ultimate, where they have that... all those other cartoon scenes, just the directors.
Okay.
Because, you know, I love Snyder. Of course, I'm going to like his cut more than any other cut. Yeah. But I got to defend Batman vs. Superman. The score, well, you give anything. Like the score, the music, the feeling.
Yeah.
I get the plot doesn't make sense. I get it's not well plotted. It's not well paced. A lot of the movie is just boring. I get it's a slog. It's a drag. But just for me, some of those music moments and some of those where they say these quotes and then the score just comes in and it hits you.
Yeah. Well, I'll give it the score, but I also won't give it the score because it's Hans Zimmer. That's kind of a given that it's going to be good.
I can't believe you're taking away the score because you're like, oh, well, he always does good scores. So what? They still had to get him, and that's not like you can't just take away the score because
they had a huge budget. Obviously, they're going to get him.
Yeah, no, I disagree.
I'm not surprised you like it though. It's like Watchmen, except not as good, and I feel like the reason, a huge reason at least, is because you already know these characters and you're just disappointed by it. Whereas with Watchmen, you don't know these characters, so for all you know, this is how they are.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. Did you like Luther's son, Eisenberg?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't hate him as much as everyone else, but that's probably just because I found him hilarious, and maybe because he was actually funny, but probably because he was so bad that it was funny. But I didn't have I mean, he was probably one of the best parts of the movie. I mean, him just doing random stuff. I think, didn't he like do something with like a Jolly Rancher or something?
Absolutely, he did.
Hilarious. And like he had tea in a jar. That was
absolutely.
It's so good. It's just funny.
See, no, but bad it is. It comes back to that. It sounds cliche, but it's a superhero realism where the villains we see, the super villains that are psychopaths and they're calm and controlled. If you had someone who was actually a supervillain, that was actually putting the world at risk, that was like abused by his dad, Lex Luthor abused him. Like imagine having an actual supervillain, Lex Luthor, as your father. How fucked up you would be. That person's not going to come across really normal on screen and like awesome and stylish. No, that person's going to come off as weird and he's going to make you uncomfortable. So the fact that there were scenes where he was making you uncomfortable. Yeah, the Jolly Rancher scene, that's weird and that makes you uncomfortable. But to me, that's good. That's what a villain should be. It should make you feel uncomfortable. These stylized villains that are evil, but they're evil in a completely, understandable and somewhat predictable way, and they don't make you uncomfortable. But so that's why I didn't mind Luthor. And I gotta ask, so the scene with the Martha moment.
Oh my God! Would you
admit that Superman, when he's dying and he's disorientated, he's about to die, don't you agree that his last, what he gasps out, it would make sense that he would gasp out, the last thing that's on his mind is, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm not thinking of myself. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to fail in my mission. And he would just gasp out. And of course it doesn't make sense that he's going to ask. Like, it doesn't make logical sense, but he's delirious at that point and he's just gasping out the only thing on his mind. And would you agree that if you were about to murder someone and someone randomly said your mother's name, you don't think that would have an impact on you and make you be like, what the fuck? So the only thing I'll give you is the delivery of the line was terrible. The delivery of the line, I thought it could have been really heartfelt and he could have given a heartfelt, but it was just a weird delivery. Yeah. So I don't defend the delivery, but I don't think it was bad conceptually. Other people are like, oh, it's just a terrible idea. I think no, it was I won't say good, but it's not the debacle that everyone's making it out to be.
I actually have a question though.
Yeah.
So you say that you really like realism. I feel like the Dark Knight trilogy is the definition of that. Me personally, I'm not coming to superhero movies for realism. Not to say that I don't enjoy it. Which do you like more, the Dark Knight or Batman v Superman?
Dark Knight. Oh, well, Dark Knight's a better movie, for sure. Batman vs. Superman has better moments for me that hit me harder. There's a few moments in Batman vs. Superman when he's talking to Alfred and he's like, we've been in this country for 200 years and you know how we got started? And he's like, oh, railroads and this. He's like, no, we were trading pelts and we were hunters. And then the score hits. There's those moments that just really, emotionally they hit me. You know what I mean? You get tuned in the movie
I think you're stalling because you have the wrong answer.
No, but my answer is I like moments of Batman vs. Superman better, but Dark Knight Rises is absolutely a better movie as a whole. It's just a better put together movie. But for me, there's moments in Batman vs. Superman that just hit me more and I respond to more.
Then why do you care about the philosophical and like getting deep stuff when you're coming to a superhero movie?
Well,
especially Batman v Superman. You're expecting Batman to fight Superman, and for the movie to be like Civil War, where they're constantly at each other, and they're two of the most iconic superheroes ever, and you're just expecting a big dumb fun, even though I wouldn't say Civil War is big dumb fun, and then you get all this deep stuff that it's like you didn't come here for that, and then it bogs down the movie and makes it feel convoluted, and it makes it way too long. And I guess if that's what I came in for, maybe I could like it a little more, but that's not what I came in for. I came in to see them be at odds with each other and fight each other.
But
I got one fight between them.
But
they didn't even know each other at the beginning of the movie.
But I want both.
Mind-boggling.
I want both. You know what I mean? Like when you say like, oh, you don't come to super. Like I want both types of movies to exist, and that's why I think I defend Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman. Like maybe some would say unreasonably, because I think that I don't want every movie to be like Marvel movies. You know what I mean? Like Marvel movies are great, and I think they're awesome, and I think it's great that they exist. But I want diversity in movies. You know, because different people have different preferences. So there's some people who are going to want darker, more philosophical superhero movies, and I think we need to have both, you know what I mean? And I get if you're a DC fan, and you're a big fan of Superman and Batman, and this is the only movie you get, this kind of dark philosophical movie, yeah, you're going to be pissed off, you know what I mean? And I get that, but I also don't think that we should just have, like, the exact same movie as Civil War, but just in the DC universe, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's kind of sad that we can only have one kind of superhero movie, you know what I mean? I think we should have lots of different kinds and lots of different styles. So I totally get what you mean, where if you go in expecting just a fun movie, it's not a fun movie. I'll say Batman vs Superman, there's nothing fun about it. It's not a good time. It's not entertaining. I think would you agree it's more cinematic than the Marvel movies? It's more of a film. Like it's
achieved it, but yeah.
You'd say at least it's attempting. It's attempting to be more of a list off every movie you have above Infinity War.
Infinity War, I have Civil War, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 2, it's progressively getting better, Spider-Man 1, The Dark Knight, Ant-Man, Iron Man, Wonder Woman, The Avengers, The Winter Soldier, and Deadpool.
Like, you have Infinity War so high. Like, that's really high. Like, I don't even, like, I have Infinity War probably in kind of the same spot in my list, because like Spider-Man may be a bit better than it. Even Deadpool, like I'd say tied with Deadpool.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I like the Snyder movies maybe a bit better, but and Iron Man I'd say is comparable but a little better. I probably have Infinity War in my top 5, and it's hard for me to distinguish between them. Okay. But yeah, I'll put one of the X-Men movies the same as it. I'll put Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man, on par with it. Dark Knight Rises I'll put on par with it, and then the Snyder movies. But that's it.
What about the Dark Knight?
Sorry, Dark Knight. No, I meant the Dark Knight. I get them confused. Yeah, no. I get Dark Knight Rises and Dark Knight. Yeah, no, just the Dark Knight above it. Yeah. Captain America, I loved him in this. I thought he was better than the other 2 Avengers movies. I thought he was really, really cool in this. He could have been in it more. Yeah. That's the biggest complaint, I think, is a fair complaint, is that Captain America wasn't in it enough and didn't have a large enough role. I thought Iron Man had a perfect amount. Like, he was in it a lot. He had a really nice arc. I thought Thor had a great arc. I feel like for this movie to be a little better, Captain America should have had a bit more of an arc, rather than him just kind of showing up and the crowd cheers, which was cool. And he was a good character, but yeah, I didn't really have an arc. Like Thor was the star of the movie.
I really only like Captain America and Iron Man. The other people have their moments. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really like a lot of these characters.
You love Ant-Man.
As much as I should.
You put Ant-Man so high. You love Strange.
I love Ant-Man. Ant-Man's great.
Who don't you like? You said you like Black Widow. She's in Winter Soldier, which you love. She's great in that.
Black Widow, top 3 probably.
And you love Falcon. You said he's great in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Falcon's great.
You like all of them. You said you like Iron Man. You like Captain America. You like everyone except kind of Thor and I guess Hulk.
I don't really like Thor. I don't really like Hulk. I'm not a huge fan of Iron Man's buddy. He's fine, and he's a good companion for Iron Man, but I don't think he's as good as Falcon.
Did you say you don't like? Yeah, I don't like War Machine either. I've never been a War Machine fan. He was okay in this. Actually, I didn't mind him in this. This is one time I've liked him, but in other movies I haven't liked him as much.
That was another disappointing thing, is that I was expecting it to be like the typical Avengers. That could be it. They weren't all together, the main Avengers. That could easily be it, and that could be why I love the first Avengers so much.
Buffalo's getting so much hate for the way the actor for Hulk, the way he just kind of portrayed himself in this movie, which I didn't mind him at all. But he's actually gotten a lot.
The same as all the other ones.
Yeah, no, he's got
the other times he's done it.
He's gotten a lot of pushback. I've been seeing people just like they didn't like his lines, his delivery. Well, first of all, people didn't like what they did with him, because a lot of people are fans of Hulk. And they feel like he's been kind of sidelined consistently now. And I agree. At first Avengers, like I say, I thought he stole that movie. He had great interactions with Black Widow, and then killed it in the final battle scene. I liked his action scenes the most, and you really saw the full potential of Hulk. And then Ultron, I didn't like his action scenes as much. Ragnarok, his action scenes I thought were pretty lackluster. That was one of my big complaints with Ragnarok. I thought I didn't see the Hulk really, the action scenes that I really wanted. And then you barely saw him in this one. So I think they're setting it up for the next movie. We're gonna have Captain America is gonna go back in time and have a happy ending. Iron Man's gonna sacrifice himself, and then Hulk's gonna also just destroy and be a hero and kind of save the day. Do what Thor did in this movie a little bit. So
if you want to hear what I think they're setting up, I personally this is just my fanboyish dream. I'm thinking that they're setting up that something is going to be way more like the Winter Soldier. I think that now they know exactly what they got to do, whatever they're going to do, which I assume is going to be somehow reverse time and get the thing from Thanos. I think it's going to be more like the Winter Soldier. It's going to be streamlined. There's going to be a lot of action. It's going to be kind of a spy thing, maybe, like they have to figure out how to infiltrate him or whatever. And I think it's going to be more effective than this one, because they're going to have less people to worry about, because I think that the people that got killed off at the end are going to be absent for the entirety of the movie until the end when they fix it. And I think that's going to be effective and smart, because it's going to be more like the first two Avengers, where it's just the Avengers, and they'll have less people and they'll have most of the best ones, at least my three favorites. I'd never been so hyped throughout the entire movie as I was in Winter Soldier.
No, the action was fantastic. I think you're going to like the next one. I think everything you want to happen and kind of wished happened in this one, it's all going to happen in the next one. And I think for a lot of people, all these fan theories and everything people thought was going to happen, it is going to happen. It's just, but it's going to take one more movie for all this stuff that everyone thought was going to happen. Everyone's assuming that everyone who turned to ash is going to come back, and it's going to be completely reversed. I don't think that that's necessarily going to happen. I think there could be surprises, and the one I think might be a surprise is Black Panther. I think that T'Challa, he might be gone for good, and they might try to have a female head of Wakanda, because I think Marvel, they've gotten away with it for a while, but I think they're starting to get more flack for just how male dominated it is as far as who's leading the movies. There are female characters, but they haven't really had a lot of female-led movies, and they are going to have Captain Marvel, but that's just one. It's still they've had way more.
Black Widow too.
But she's never had her own movie. You know what I mean?
She's going to have her own movie, though.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. That's one of my most anticipated movies of the next 5 years.
Yeah, but even so, I think that they're always kind of looking for opportunities to have a female-led movie, and I think they're looking. Shuri is really popular, and I think that to try to make her the base of the next Black Panther movie around her, I think they might think that could actually work, because she's popular enough. So I think they might actually use this as an opportunity, one, to shock people and actually say, hey, no, we'll kill people off, and you think they're coming back. No, they're gone. But still capitalize on Black Panther, obviously, and how popular it is. So,
who is that character?
T'Challa. Chadwick.
No, the one that you think is going to take over.
Well, Shuri, but to me, she's not really a king. She's not really a lead.
Who is she? I'm forgetting who the character is.
The Wiz, the tech Wiz, the sister of T'Challa. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think you're right. Everyone seemed to really love her. I thought she was pretty good. Yeah, that would make sense. Oh, my God. I think you're 100% right on that.
Yeah.
Because they have had Black Panther in enough movies. He was in, Civil War, and he was in his standalone movie, and he was in this. And, yeah, Yeah, I could easily see that. Oh my, yeah, that's...
And
wow.
he's fine, like he's good, but I think the franchise can survive without him, and I think that they might see an opportunity where they're like, look, we get everything we want. We can still have the franchise make a lot of money. We can get a female-led movie, and we can also show we're serious by killing off someone that no one thought we were going to kill off, so they can kind of capitalize on that a lot. I couldn't see Guardians without Peter Quill and without Gamora. I couldn't see it happening.
Oh yeah,
but they might say, like, we're going to try to do Guardians without these characters, and we're going to try... They might think that they're so untouchable, everything they touch just turns to gold. They might say, look, we're going to get new characters, we're going to put it out there, and people are going to eat it up like they've eaten up everything else, and they might take some risk.
No, there's only been 2 Guardians movies, and easily the strongest part of them is these characters. And if they get rid of those characters, 1, I wouldn't be on board. 2, I might still like it, but I just wouldn't like it as much as the first 2. But I don't see that happening. I know people think that Gamora is gone for good, but I really feel like they need her in Guardians. And like you're saying, female-centric, who would they get? I mean, they've got the lady with the things, but she's not as good as Gamora. I feel like they're going to find a way to bring Gamora back.
Mantis is, she's... I'm always kind of perplexed by her and what her role is. She is very funny. I like her a lot. I still don't think that's going to happen. I still think the Guardians of the Galaxy, it's such a profitable... They could make 10 Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and as long as they keep putting these characters back, they know they're going to get... So it would be such a risk for them, and I don't know why they would be that risky with such a profitable thing, but it could happen. And then Spider-Man, again, I think a black Spider-Man could really work. Like, I think a lot of people would be on board with that and see it. So again, I think they could, just because, they not necessarily are they going to bring Spider-Man back, like, for sure.
Yeah. Well, plus based on his reaction when he died, I mean, that was close to getting me. I don't cry in movies really because I'm very aware that I'm watching a movie. But that really got me close to, like, feeling something. And
here's the thing. When I was like, oh, maybe they're going to keep Black Panther to T'Challa dead and not bring him back, his death scene, it wasn't very memorable to me. So I feel like if that was really the last we've seen of him, they would have made more of his death and give him a better send-off. Spider-Man, on the other hand, that was a memorable send-off. It would be gut-wrenching and heartbreaking if he didn't come back, but nonetheless, that would be a memorable send-off. So... Again, but that's so dark. I don't think Marvel is gonna get that dark to send him off that way. Because like you said, it was so gut wrenching. He's just like a scared kid, and he's so innocent and so pure, and just always so nice and wants to help people. That would be just probably one of the darkest, most emotional superhero deaths ever. I wanted to ask, Nebula.
Oh yeah, love Karen Gillan, great actress.
I like her a lot, too. I liked her, was in Jumanji? That was the last one she was in?
Yeah. She was good in that.
I liked her in that a lot. I don't know about her character, though. She's always kind of... I've never liked her as much as the other Guardians. She's probably... If I had to think of who didn't I like in this movie, she was barely in it at all. But for her...
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even think about her. They could replace her... She could replace Gamora in the group, because I think she's pretty, like... badass, right? Like, she can kick some ass and take some names.
She can, but I don't think she's, like, I love Gamora, and I really like her. I don't like Nebula as much. So
Gamora's way better.
I wouldn't go to, like, if the next Guardians, they're like, oh, it's going to be the Nebula show, and she's going to be the new Gamora, I'd be like, I'm not, like, I totally thought, I was shocked they killed off Gamora. I thought they were going to kill Nebula for sure. So when they switched it, and instead they killed Gamora, that was the biggest surprise of the movie for me. I couldn't believe, because again, Gamora, she's a female character. She's beloved by almost everyone. So I couldn't believe they killed her off. That was one of the moments where I was shocked. I thought they were gonna kill Loki off, so I wasn't that surprised by that. But Gamora, that was the first moment I'm like, shit, people might die in this that I didn't anticipate.
Yeah, well, I think there would be a really effective way to bring Nebula in. it could be like she feels for Peter Quill losing Gamora, and then Peter feels for her losing Gamora, and they could just be like, let's work together to make sure that we're living for a reason or something, some sappy shit like that. And I think that would, I don't know, if they did it right, it would work, and then it would be really effective because there would be a woman in there that would not have to have a love interest, and I know that would rustle a lot of people's jimmies. They'd be like, ooh, yes, a female character that does not have to be in a relationship with someone in the group, or the cliche leader.
No, I gotcha. I think the fact that there is a part 2, it's helping out a lot of people. And I think that Marvel has built up some trust where people kind of trust Marvel not to fuck over the fans and not to do shit that's going to really piss people off. So a lot of people are trusting Marvel that the second Infinity War is gonna, anything people might have misgivings about, they're like, all right, we gotta wait a year, and that sucks that this stuff happened, and we gotta wait a year to fix it, but it will be fixed. So I want to know, where is Infinity War in your ranking? Let's just boil it down. What are the few that it just beats out, and then what are the ones that are better movies than Infinity War?
It beats out Doctor Strange, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2, and X-Men First Class in progressively getting worse, because I think it's a better movie, but I wouldn't necessarily rewatch it more. But then it doesn't beat Civil War getting better, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1, The Dark Knight, Ant-Man, Iron Man, Wonder Woman, The Avengers, The Winter Soldier, and Deadpool, because I would easily rewatch those more. I think they're better movies. They have more of what I like in these kind of movies.
No, it's not a bad list. The only ones, Ant-Man and Wonder Woman. Those are probably my 2 biggest disagreements. Probably Ant-Man more. But again, if you like that quirky Paul Rudd, so I can't disagree that much. For me, these are things that are the same or above it. Iron Man, I'd say Iron Man and Deadpool just below it. I'd say this just beats out Iron Man and Deadpool, the original, but X-Men, Last Stand, X1 and X2, I think those are all on par with it. Dark Knight is on par with it. Original Spider-Man is on par with it. And Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, Watchmen. Those are the only movies that I put on par with this one. So I think that's in my top 5 for sure. See, I never know how to end it either, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, we have so much footage, I'll put something like an ending. The one with the British accent, he's the guy that gets called Squidward.
Yeah, that guy. Okay,
that guy,
I see why you like him.
Yeah,
why you like him. He's probably the best out of all of them.
I thought, he was the best out of all of them for sure.